It's a way to keep in contact with friends.
It's a form of staying communicated with my friends and family on the internet.
It's really a way to stay in touch with friends.
It's an opportunity to stay in touch with friends and family.
Staying in contact with family that doesn't live right around the corner.
It just means like a way to stay in touch with all your friends and be able to get in touch with like family that you wouldn't normally be able to get in touch with.
It's basically a form of communication within your family or friends.
Is when people around the world interact as one, I guess.
Social networking basically just means different people using one social network to come together in some kind of way.
I don't believe that basically if you're 5 steps away from me, I gotta use a social network just to say hi or greet you.
To me, is a way to communicate with friends and family, to kind of keep up on current events and all that kind of stuff.
But I also use it a lot for work, getting word out to my students that I work with and letting them know about events that are going on, and just staying in communication with others. It keeps it really easy because it's just so easy to use.
I don't use no social network at all. I don't feel that that's a great form of communication because there's a lackage of that personal connection with somebody.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+.
I use Facebook probably the most often.
I use Tumblr and Facebook, and I use them every day for at least an hour a day or more.
I have a LinkedIn profile, but I need to be better about using it because I'm not.
I use Facebook and I use it at least 4 hours a day.
Strictly Facebook. Twitter's too complicated for me. And I'm on there, oh gosh, constantly throughout the day. Constantly.
I use Facebook and that's all that I use. Probably use it like 2 to 3 times a day in between classes.
I use Twitter the most every day, and Instagram.
I only use Facebook, and I check it at least once every day.
I use Instagram the most. I use that, I want to say most of the week I use it.
I have a MySpace account I haven't touched in like 5 years. Other than that, I don't think I use anything else.
No.
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 Definitely not. No, I would not pay for my social networking.
No, it's not worth it to me.
I would only be willing to pay for using social networks if it was an application on my phone for 99 cents.
I don't think so. I don't think it's really worth it.
I'm cheap. I don't got money. I'm a college student.
Certain things on the internet should be free. Keeping in contact with your friends and family and other things that are going on in the world you shouldn't have to pay for those things.
Yes and no.
It has its pros and cons.
That's like a double-edged sword, you could say, because people that are shy to speak to somebody in person, they use a form of social networking so they can express themselves and actually talk to people.
Making the world a smaller place between people, being able to have friends from Germany when you're living in the United States, that's a great thing to have.
But if you flip it on the other side, a person that does like having a personal interaction with somebody will be more willing to go out there.
The cons about it is the fact that someone you don't know can find things out about you that you don't want them knowing.
I think if people don't think about what they're putting out there, it can be.
Well, I turned out okay, but that's not really much to go by.
I don't think that social media is damaging to society unless there are people that use it indirectly or are catfishes and pretend to be somebody else.
I think it can be. I think if people start losing the one-on-one communication.
Yes, very much so.
Yes, I definitely do think it is because, I mean, what I've been talking about in my classes and what I do realize all the time, and it's horrible, is that when I was younger, I used to speak to everyone about everything. There was never oh, I'll text you. It was always call me tonight or I'm going to call you tonight. And like we discussed it or we spoke about it in person.
Social networking use is probably damaging to society in the big picture of it all because we're so dependent on it and we've kind of lost other forms of communication. Not so much. I really don't put any real personal information on there as it is.
No, not really.
Yes and no. I'm worried about some things just that I can't control. I don't put anything up there that I don't want up there.
Not really, because I wouldn't put anything up there that I wouldn't want people to know.
Not really, because I don't put important things on the internet. I have common sense.
Overall, privacy really isn't an issue. They have so many settings on Facebook and other sites that you can change who sees what you post.
Well, let me answer your question with a question. Are you afraid of your personal information getting marketed to corporations? Because that's exactly what they're doing.
I am worried about my privacy and I'm very careful about what I put out there because I'm worried about employers in the long term, and I do want to get a job and I want to be a teacher, so I don't want stuff that's my private life getting on there and being blown up and turned into a bad situation.
Yeah, I think, thinking about what you put out there, like for example, I have 2 young nephews, so I try not to post a lot of stuff about them. My Facebook is really private, so I know who's looking at it. I don't want just random strangers to be able to see what I'm putting out there.
Many times, yes. There's things that they're doing to kind of help prevent the invasion of privacy on the networks, but there's ways around it. For instance, Instagram, you can hide your photos, but yet if you have a hashtag of some sort, somebody can click on the hashtag and see the photos that you have used that hashtag for. So in that way, your privacy still isn't completely secure. Facebook now with the graph search that they're kind of beta testing, you have the ability to see what kind of like private groups people are part of, what friends they have, even if you say that people can't find you through their friends.
Blooper. Oops.
Social networking means to me as I can't do this. No, erase it. I can't do this.
What does social networking mean to you?
Pause?
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna cut it anyway. Are you worried about privacy issues on your social networks?
Also family and other relatives.
Why can't you do it like Abu did it yesterday?
How?
Like,
do you think that social networking use is damaging to society?
I would only be willing to pay for...
Wrong answer. You're wrong because we share different opinions.
Bye.